Ngwariraiwo, chengetaiwo, vumbamiraiwo, cherechedzaiwo. Unorema, mutoro unorema uyo, mutoro unorema, mutoro unorema. Okay, what inspires me to do music about social justice? It's about, the problems that people face in our society, especially women suppression, oppression, child abuse. And from a personal perspective, I've been a victim of some of these problems, some of this injustice that happens in our society. So that inspired me to do music about social justice. Hi, beautiful people. It's your girl, Nicole, Livet. So, nobody's at home. Everybody's at work, and I'm at home. This is my home. This is where I stay. My personal story is I come from a very, what can I say, a patriarchal family whereby, the fathers, they're always right and all of that. So as a child, my dad used to be so hard on us, we were not allowed to play with other kids. So that's why I became an introvert. So I was not able to socialize with other people. And at times, whenever I would fail at school, my dad would beat me. He would come with chamboko, from work, and he would beat us a lot. And at times, we would become so violent to the extent of chasing us, like sleeping outside. And, so it really is affected my, my mental state. But through music, it really inspires me to express myself, in terms of playing the mbira and the hosho as well. When I was young, the rights of children, like to have the right to, to have that love from parents and from family. But luckily, my mom is a loving person, but at times there's a time where you need the father's love. He was always there, but I never got that love from a dad. So, I began to have that hatred for men because, I thought that men are good people and all that, and the character that my dad was expressing, it really affected me. But through music was a breakthrough for me, to just express myself in any way that I can. What stopped my dad from being too hard on his children was a neighbor. We had a neighbor, this grandmother, and you'd be like, if you continue treating these kids the way you're doing, gonna report you to the police. And also because of, what we are taught at school, I was taught about children's rights, UNICEF, Childline. So I began to have that knowledge of, this is abuse, this is what. And then that's when I started joining Childline and UNICEF and, knowing this is abuse and this is not right. The statistics that I can do is about, let's say, 70% of women and children, they really face this injustice and abuse. But the problem comes in when women are not able to speak out, especially women who are not educated. Why? Because they are afraid that if they report, their counterparts or their husbands to the police, there will be no one to take care of them. So most women, they really face a lot of these challenges, but they are not able to speak out. But thanks to these organizations like Mamsasa project, women are now able, to be empowered. And this organization, at times they sponsor giving projects so that women are being empowered and they get to break to break free from the oppression and the suppression of their husbands or their families. In terms of the leaders, it's really a tricky thing. Why? Because in terms of the workspace, even in the media, I'm a journalist, but at work, men are always the ones who are editors of, especially in newsrooms. So women were not given that, that platform for us to be leaders, maybe leaders of an organization or something. Because men, they feel like, they are the best. Even on awards, men always receive awards in terms of best journalist and all that. And, the leaders can be accountable for this. Why? Because they are the ones who make the law. So they have to make laws to protect women and also have a framework of, views that can protect women in industry or women in creative arts or women in mining or engineering and all that, so that women are protected. Because some of the laws, they are in the constitution, but they are not put into practice. So what we need is implementation of these laws so that, it becomes a better place for women to work. The creative process behind my song is I do mbira fusion. So I chose traditional music, a fusion of mbira and hosho. Why? Because as Zimbabwean, we have our own culture, we have our own heritage as a nation. So Chioniso Malale has always been my inspiration in terms of music. And the history behind Chioniso, and that time, what people went through and what women were facing, it really motivated me to just be proud of your culture. And also, Chioniso died, but we must have those upcoming female artists who are into the mbira thing, because mbira, it is a very sacred instrument. It can be used, to express ourselves as women and also as tourist attraction. So I chose mbira because it's something that is so unique, and I love my culture as a Zimbabwean. I know for sure that it will impact my community. Why? Because as I said, I am a person who was raised in a very violent manner, whereby I faced a lot of abuse and all that. So, many people, my neighbors and all of that, they are really motivated by the work that I'm doing in terms of civic engagement, like community engagement, talking about young people and women. And me also being an artist, it really brings change, because whenever I sing at home, people be like, wow, this is nice, you should keep going. So I think it will really bring a change to my community. Why? Because there are some of my friends, some of my relatives in my community facing the same situation that I faced. So this, with my music, it will really change the mindset of, whoever is responsible for the abuse, to tell them that this is not right, you should do it this way. What I can say is we thank God that we're now living in a digital space whereby there is technology. You can use your phone. There are now free tools like Childline, there's 116 and all that. It is really important to speak out in any way that you can. Now there are community programs like art, those who do sculpture, those who do, so you just find a club that you want to join so that you are able to express yourself. And don't be afraid of, speaking out what you're going through, be it you're facing psychological abuse and all of that, because it really kills. Because at some point I had 3 attempts of committing suicide. Why? Because I was afraid to speak out. But through music, through art, it has motivated me to break free from the mental captivity. So I feel like, and I would advise other young people who are out there to speak out and to express themselves whatever they can, so that they can get help. Now there's internet, there are many programs, there are many organizations that are willing to help the young people, to be saved from any problem that they are facing in their communities.